Hi guys, it's Carmella Carter, the CEO and founder of I Am Grace, and I am coming to you today with another All Moments Amazing Working Women Wednesday. And I am sitting here with Miss Adela Lopez. She's my featured guest for today, and I'm excited to have her. However, before we get started, I wanted to make sure that you guys purchase my book, Purpose is Greater Than Pain. And don't forget, on November 14th, on November 14th at the Daily Grind in Mount Holly from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. You can come out and get your book signed and sit with me and congratulate, whatever you want to do. Get a cup of coffee, get some hot chocolate, whatever you choose to do, but come out and celebrate with me. You can come out for 5 minutes or 3 hours. The choice is yours, but I would love to see your face in the place, okay? But let's get started with our interview today with Miss Adela. Again, thank you so much for coming. Adela is the wife of an amazing husband, and she is a mother of some beautiful children. And her husband and her started a foundation for prostate cancer survivors. And I want to make sure that you guys look at the screen at that information, and whatever you need to do to support this beautiful couple, do it. Help them show the world about prostate cancer. Okay? Thanks guys for your support. So Miss Adela, what age were you diagnosed with breast cancer?
I was age 34, and it was in early 2006 when I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow, that's pretty young. Age 34 years old. I can't imagine.
34. Compared to now, the new guidelines are saying 45 for diagnostic mammograms. So with me being diagnosed at 34, you see the age disparity between that.
Wow.
Yes.
So when you were diagnosed, what stage were you diagnosed with?
I was diagnosed with stage 0, which is the diagnosis was DCIS. That's ductal carcinoma in situ.
Mm-hmm.
That's breast cancer of the milk ducts. That's actually the earliest stage of breast cancer that any woman can be diagnosed with.
Wow.
Yes.
And when you were diagnosed, like, what was the initial detection like? How was that?
The initial detection, it was more so for myself because I started losing weight drastically within a 6 month window. I went from a size 12 to a 0. I did was losing my hair, so that was a concern. So I went to my doctor, had numerous testing done, and the final testing was a diagnostic mammogram.
Okay.
But I pushed and advocated for that because my age wouldn't fit with the criteria. So my doctor had to really sell that in order for my insurance coverage to pay for the digital mammogram.
Wow.
So the mammogram came back and detected that I had breast cancer.
Wow. So she lost weight.
Yes.
I'm going to recap because this is awesome. She lost weight and then forced her doctor to do a mammogram.
Yes.
And then insurance won't pay for it. Listen, ladies, don't let them tell you no. Don't let them give you no for an answer. Whatever you need to do to get yourself healthy and to get a diagnosis from either breast cancer or whatever, do what you have to do.
Yes.
Because if she wouldn't have pushed for that, God knows what could have happened.
Exactly.
Wow. Make sure you are doing what you need to do to get checked out.
Yes.
So when you was initially detected, what did you feel? What feelings were you feeling at the time?
At the time, it was initial shock, disbelief, especially at my age, 34. So being that I was in disbelief and just hearing the diagnosis, I wanted to go for a second opinion, of course.
Absolutely.
So I went to the University of Penn, and of course, having another mammogram done for the testing, it did confirm that I had breast cancer. And so hearing that for the second time, you have that moment where you can be in denial, because it's the shock denial, but then you do have feelings of hopelessness, depression, because that sat in me and said, why me?
Absolutely.
And so that was concerning to me. That was my initial feeling, and that it wasn't long-lived. I can tell you.
I know that's right. That's awesome.
It wasn't long-lived.
Long-lived. That's right. No, I'm sorry, devil. Not me.
Not me.
Not me.
But I definitely had that initial, and I know a lot of survivors really, it's not even for breast cancer, just any form of cancer or anything that someone's going through, they do have that hopelessness period on why it happened to them and the reoccurrence or anything that take place. So,
wow. Wow. So you said that you felt sad, right,
Yes.
when you were initially diagnosed, which is normal, but it was short-lived, of course. But was there any history breast cancer in your family?
No. That's the part too, in fighting to have my insurance coverage pay for my digital mammogram because of my age, and I didn't have family history. I'm the first in my family to have breast cancer. So of course that was very difficult for me. And also because I didn't feel any lumps in my breast, because DCIS is with the breast cancer, the milk ducts, you don't feel the lumps. And it's non-invasive. So it was a little bit different. And so, you know, that's the area that I worry about when it comes to that.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So it was no family history. What about drug or alcohol abuse?
No drugs or alcohol abuse at all. Especially with my profession. Can't do it.
She worked for, tell them what you work for.
Oh, I'm the manager for a local office with Division of Child Protection and Permanency, which used to be DIFAS. So definitely can't do that.
No drugs or alcohol, thank God. But it's weird because my aunt, this is why I do this. My aunt Jolyn Davis, I love you, auntie.
Hi,
auntie. She was diagnosed with breast cancer. We had no family history at all, drug or alcohol abuse at all, and it just kind of showed up. So I do this because I had to learn, and I want to make sure that others are aware and they're learning about. You don't need a family history. You don't need to be addicted to drugs or alcohol. This can just happen. So you need to do what you got to do for your health. You know. So.
Exactly.
What was your support network like? Did you have a support network, or what was that like?
My support network is my family. I have an awesome family, and I share this with everyone. My husband, who I've been married to for 24 years, he has been by my side. Yeah, he's an awesome guy. Lance Lopez is a great guy. So with my husband and my 5 children, and our oldest at the time, he was in his freshman year at Rutgers University. So he's the oldest, and you know, making sure his siblings are you know, still being resilient and strong with that. And so just with my husband and my children, then I have my parents, my mother-in-law, and then my siblings. I mean, and then my grandma. Oh, she's awesome. At 84 years of age, she's an awesome lady. And just having them just being there and being a support network and helping me, you know, really have a sound mind. And then my mom is a pastor, and so I have that prayer corner, you know, those is coming uplift and just make sure they keep me girded up, and that's what I love about my family.
Great. So it's really important to have that support network.
Absolutely.
So if you're going through this alone, you can definitely contact the Susan Komen Foundation and other breast cancer foundations to try to get the support that you need, you know.
Absolutely.
Because no one deserves to go through this alone, you know.
Exactly.
So did you face any obstacles during your treatment process?
I did. It's more so about my decision making when it came down to my process and what I wanted to have done.
Okay.
So it just weighing that, and then with the statistics, because I always read statistics.
Absolutely.
And looking at just for me with being diagnosed with DCIS, there's 60,000 of us that have been diagnosed with that this year. Compared to an invasive breast cancer, which is 230,000.
Wow.
So you're talking about 290,000 women being diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
Yes.
Per year.
Well, just for this year
alone.
Yes, we're looking at 290,000, and 60,000 is DCIS, which I was diagnosed with. So with that non-invasive type of cancer, you're talking about 21% of us that will be diagnosed with breast cancer with DCIS. But also look at the data that says that with DCIS, 30% of us who have DCIS will develop invasive breast cancer within the 10 years of being diagnosed with DCIS. And I'm in my 8th year of survivorship.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I am the one that like to beat the odds, because I'm not going to be within that 10 year. I'm not going to be the 30%. And I am pushing and advocating that 30% go to 0% for those of us who have been diagnosed with DCIS.
Okay.
So that's my mission.
That's right.
So those are the obstacles, the data, the statistics, and then making the decision about my treatment options.
What was your treatment like?
My treatment, I chose to have surgery, which was a lumpectomy. And they did also suggest radiation. But when they did after I had the surgery and then they checked everything out, my margins was clear, meaning that the tissues around the cancerous area was very healthy. So therefore, I had a low likelihood of recurrence, and that the tissues were healthy, so therefore I didn't need the radiation. which was a beautiful thing.
Yes.
But they did recommend tamoxifen, which was a medication. They wanted me to take it for 5 years. That is what I refused. And I preferred to go the herbal route and do herbal supplements, vitamins, and change my diet.
And that has been working for 8 years.
Been working tremendously. I don't eat no fried food. I bake. My vegetable intake is great. I walk more, participate in a lot of walk runs, and just exercise. So I just chose healthy living.
You know, I want to say something. Sometimes, as women and men alike, when we are diagnosed with anything, we hold the doctor accountable for how healthy we become.
Yes.
And so if we still have this element, we're like, it's the doctor's fault. When in actuality, if you would just take some steps towards bettering your own health, you will be a healthier person. And that's just what Adela did. She said, no, I'm not going to take that medication. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make myself healthy. And that should be a lesson to some of you guys. I'm just saying, because it's a lesson for me. So how long was your treatment process?
I would say it ran maybe from, if I started with my diagnosis in 2006, about 6 years. And that's the reason why, is because I didn't do the tamoxifen, which was 5 years, but I did have quarterly mammograms, which turned to 6 months. And then finally, I was able to have my annual mammogram starting in 2013.
Wow.
So I figured the caveat to not having the medication, just having those mammograms increase, just to make sure there was still a low likelihood that I wouldn't have a recurrence.
Good.
And so I would rather have that than to take the medication for 5 years.
High five up top. I know that's right. I know that's right. No medication. All those side effects.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So my last question for you is, what would you tell the community? What would you tell the women in your community regarding breast cancer? Share.
I would say this shirt that I'm wearing proudly that says a survivor. I'm just the face of many women who have survived breast cancer. And so being on a platform such as this with the beautiful Carmella Carter, I thank her tremendously. But platforms such as this and being on the community to advocate and to provide the education to our women is definitely key. A lot of women don't know how to do self-check breast exams. That's really tremendous. We need to be out there and educating and treating them. And then to my survivors, I want to tell you to hold on to that word hope, because that's the little word that whispers in our spirit to allow us to continue fighting for this cause. And then for the supporters out there, keep fighting with us, because we need you. And we thank you, and God bless you all.
Oh, that was great. You did awesome.
Thank you.
But I got you something.
Oh,
here's a little gift.
Oh, thank you, Carmella.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's actually, you can open it. It's actually a I Am Grace breast t-shirt. Just to say thank you so much. And
I love t-shirts.
You're welcome. It says I am
beautiful. And I will rock it proudly. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, because you are Grace. You are with the grace of God.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So again, don't forget my book, and thank you all so much for watching. We appreciate you.
Yes.
And we'll see you next week with another All Moments Amazing Working Women Wednesday. And don't forget to tell someone to live life on purpose. Have an amazing day. Goodbye. Bye.